Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Society. We are grateful to gather on this beautiful, slightly overcast morning, both in person and online, for a time of inspiration, reflection, and connection. Whether you join us today with joy in your heart, weighted with burdens, or searching for meaningful connections, we are glad that you are here. I'm Quanda Hood, a middle-aged immigrant from Trinidad, fighting not to go completely gray and holding on to being 5'6". I'm wearing one of my favorite symbols of hope today, and that's a semicolon. And I welcome you on this, as I said, slightly overcast Sunday for a day full of hope. As we gather, we give thanks for this land and all who cared for it over the centuries, particularly the Kickapoo and the Iowa, the Sauk, the Mizwaukee, and the Oseti Sakawan nations. As people of many ages, genders, races, sexual orientations, classes, abilities, and health statuses, we know how important it is to come together as a radically welcoming spiritual community. As Unitarian Universalists, our faith expresses our core value of love through how we agree to be together and support each other. We are guided by the shared principles, sources, and values of our living religious tradition. This morning, we'll be talking about hope. We will celebrate and explore this principle. If you're newer to our congregation, we invite you to learn about us after the service. For those here in person, you can talk to a greeter in the atrium. For those online, there's a link to the visitor forum in the YouTube notes that will let us connect with you. And now, Alex will lead us with Come Sing a Song With Me. And just a reminder that after the service today, this will be Alex's last service with us, #SadFace. And we'd like to celebrate him after the service.
I'm Alex Heatland. I'm wearing cranes today, which I just looked up are a symbol of longevity, so not really hope, I suppose. But I'm excited to share some singing with you all today. And our first one is Come Sing a Song With Me. If you brought a gray hymnal in, it's number 346. But the words are also on the screen. So I invite you to rise in body and spirit as we sing Come Sing a Song With Me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Thank you.
As Unitarian Universalists, we light a flame within a chalice as a symbol of sanctuary and safety, to unite us in our worship and to remind us of our ongoing search for the light of truth. Please join me in saying our chalice lighting words as we light our chalice. Thank you, Nick. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the wonder and the mystery of this great gift. So let us now kindle the light of our liberal religious heritage and renew our covenant of mutual love and care. Love is our doctrine, the quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, and to serve those in need, as this we promise, this we covenant with life and one another. Each week we light a candle for justice and healing to acknowledge our interdependence with the natural world and all the members of the global community, especially those most vulnerable. We light this candle so that we may not be numb to injustice and trauma, but rather find strength, courage, and love as we work in solidarity with others for liberation, justice, and healing. Together, we create resilience and hope. Today, as we light this candle, we're particularly mindful of hope. As I light this candle, let's hold a time of silence to listen to our hearts and bodies, or perhaps lift up prayers. Sorry, I thought I had to wait a little longer. And now we'll hear from Nick and Alex on Connection to Hope.
Thanks, Kwanda. Ooh, wow, I'm loud. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nick Kaplan. My pronouns are they, them. I'm a non-binary, shorter person who's here with my hair braided and in a purple polo today. Hope. What does that mean? I'll wait. What is hope? Yeah, what's hope? When you hope for something, when you I love that, Aria, thank you. Yeah, so for those of you who might not have heard, when you hope for something, you really want something, maybe you really need it. I looked it up just to be sure that I had this right, and just as it was said, it's really wanting something or expecting it and you're sure it's going to happen. So there are both sides of that. Any guesses as to how many symbols for hope there are? Yeah, go ahead, throw a number at me. Lots works. Lots works. Lots is good. I found over 47. That seems like a lot of symbols for something. We talked about the chalice being our symbol. There are over 47 symbols for hope. Some of them were things like rainbows. Rainbows are a symbol for hope. Any other ideas as to what some of those symbols might be? Butterflies? Yeah. Family, friends, nature, yeah, all of those things could be symbols for hope. Anybody else? A symbol for hope? A cross, for some people that's definitely a symbol of hope. Sunrise, what was? A chest. Oh, the hope chest. The rainbow and the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, yes. Fingers crossed, definitely a symbol of hope, right? All right, yeah. I did not find lottery ticket on this list, but that's definitely a symbol of hope for some people, or they have to hope in that for sure. A symbol that came up a lot was stars, too. The morning star and stargazing. When we think of hope, like has been said many times, we're hearing about love and wishes and dreams, right? Things that we want to happen and that we expect to happen someday, right? These words all happen to come up, maybe not lottery ticket quite as much, but a lot of these words are in a song that might be familiar to many of you. And we're going to sing it together. Alex is going to lead us. I'm sure some of you already know it. If you don't, I bet you can catch along. We're going to go ahead and sing now, okay? We'll chat more later.
If you can find a way to fit lottery ticket in, I support it. Nah. All right, so this is Rainbow Connection, which you might be able to know. The words are going to be on the screen as well. Why are there so many songs about rainbows on the other side? Rainbows are visions and only illusions, and rainbows have nothing. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I think they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. I didn't check if the second verse is there. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on the morning star? Someone thought of that, and someone believed it, and look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? What do we think it might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell, we know that it's probably magic. Have we been half asleep, or have we heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailors, and voice may be one and the same? I've heard it too many times to ignore it, and something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La-di-da-dee-da-da-do, da-da-dee-da-da-da-da-da. Nice. Oh, now it's time. Do you have something to say about this, Kwanda? Sorry. Oh, okay. We come to the time where if you're a child, youth, or somebody who wants to go outside, yes, outside for RE time, then we invite you to come forward. I have some eggs here. Maybe, Trina, could I ask you to hold eggs for people to grab on their way out? I really appreciate it. Just go over there and hand it. And it's time for us all to sing Be Open. Be open for something possible to happen. Be open to the possibility. Be open for something wonderfwonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Aye, 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 aye. I think about this song as a song of hope too, because we're hoping for something that we don't know will happen yet. And I think it's such a wonderful, I don't think it's a very surface level song, even though the words might feel kind of silly and young. But I think it's very much about being actually open in ourselves for something wonderful to happen. And who knows what that's going to be. So let's sing it one more time. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibilities. Aye, 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 All right, thank you.
Thank you, Alex. I agree. That is a song about hope. As we enter into our time of meditation, contemplation, and prayer, we acknowledge the joys and sorrows of this congregation. We do this by dropping stones into a bowl of water, symbolically immersing our personal joys and sorrows into the flow of life's joys and sorrows. The water surrounds and holds the stone just as we are surrounded and held by the love and support of this congregation. If you're participating in our service elsewhere, you may wish to meditatively hold a stone, wash your hands, or meditate on an object near you. And now, if you're in the sanctuary, please come forward, take a stone from the basket, and place your stone in the water as we sing together with Alex.
We need peace and we need hope. We need love in this world. We need peace and we need hope. We need love in this world. We need peace and we need hope. We need love in this world. We need peace and we need hope. We need love in this world. We need peace and we need hope. We need love in this world. We need peace and we need hope. We need love in this world. We need peace and we need hope. We need love in this world. We need peace and we need hope. We need love in this world. We need peace and we need hope. We need love in this world. When things fall apart, we can rise up. We can come together. Things fall apart, we can rise up. I will hold your hand. We need peace and we need hope. We need in this world. Cry with me, we will come together. Cry with me, I will hold your hand. We are with me, we will come together. Cry with me, I will hold your hand. We need peace and we need hope. We need love in this world. We need peace and we need hope. We need love in this world.
May we hold the joys and sorrows of our congregation and the wider community tenderly in our hearts and minds today and in the coming days. When we need a listening ear or heart or helping hand, may we reach out. And when we know of needs, we may offer support and loving kindness. For it is in sharing our lives, our cares, and our joys, and in giving and receiving that we know community most fully, and when we have the opportunity to live our covenant with one another. Amen, and blessed be. On the pulse of morning, a rock, a river, a tree, host to species long since departed, marked the mastodon, the dinosaur who left the dried tokens of their sojourn here on our planet floor. Any broad alarm of their hastening doom is lost in the gloom of dust and ages. But today, the rock cries out to us, clearly, forcefully, "Come, you may stand upon my back and face your distant destiny, but seek no haven in my shadow. I will give you no hiding place down here. You, created only a little lower than the angels, have crouched too long in the bruising darkness, have lain too long face down in ignorance, your mouths spilling words, arms for slaughter. The rock cries out to us today, you may stand upon me, but do not hide your face." Across the wall of the world, a river sings a beautiful song. It says, "Come, rest here by my side." Each of you, a bordered country, delicate and strangely made proud, yet thus thrusting perpetually under siege. Your armed struggles for profit have left collars of waste. Upon my shore, currents of debris upon my breast, yet today I call you to my riverside. If you will study war no more, come, clad in peace, and I will sing the songs the Creator gave me when I and the tree and the rock were one. Before cynicism was a bloody sear across your brow, and when you still knew nothing, the river sang and sings on. There is true yearning to respond to the singing river and the wise rock. So say the Asian, the Hispanic, the Jew, the African, the Native American, the Sioux, the Catholic, the Muslim, the priest, the sheik, the gay, the straight, and the preacher, the privileged and the homeless, and the teacher. They all will hear the speaking of the tree. They hear the first and the last of every tree. Speak to humankind today. Come to me here beside the river. Plant yourself beside the river. Each of you, descendants of some passed on traveler, has been paid for. You gave me my first name, you, Pawnee, Apache, Seneca, you Cherokee Nation. You rested with me, then forced on bloody feet, left me to the employment of other seekers, desperate for gain, starving for gold. You, the Turk, the Arab, the Swede, the German, the Eskimo, the Scot, you, the Ashanti, the Yoruba, the Kru, bought, sold, stolen, arriving on the nightmare, praying for a dream. Here, root yourself beside me. I am that tree planted by the river, which will not be moved. I, the rock, I, the river, I, the tree, I am yours. Your passages have been paid. Lift your faces up. You have a piercing need for this bright morning dawning for you. History, despite its unwrenching pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage, need not live again. Lift up your eyes upon this day breaking for you. Give birth again to the dream. Women, children, men, take it into the palms of your hands. Hold it into the shape of your most private need. Sculpt it into your image of your most public self. Lift your hearts up. Each new hour holds new chances for a new beginning. Do not be wedded forever to fear, yoked eternally to brutishness. The horizon leans forward, offering you a space to place new steps of change here on the pulse of this fine day. You may have the courage to look up and out and upon me, the rock, the river, the tree, your country, no less to Midas than the medicine, no less to you now than the mastodon then. Here on the pulse of this new day, you may have the grace to look up and out into your sister's eyes and into your brother's face, your country. And very simply, forgive me, very simply say, with hope, good morning.
Thank you, Kwanda. Good morning. It's good to see you, and it's good to be here, which recalls a tired old joke. At my age, I'm glad to be anywhere. Full disclosure, I'm not a preacher, though one time I sort of thought about it. I'm a teacher. As a 45-year teacher, I am heavily invested in the quest for truth, which you and I affirm each worship service and have asserted in writing as the fourth value, the ongoing quest for meaning. Encouraging quests for truth and meaning is what teachers do. That is, except when state legislators and governors interfere with such quests. The sermon title, Hope 1 Mile, is copied from a road sign on I-35 about 30 miles into Minnesota. Over the last 30 years, Mary and I made many, and I'm roughly guessing it's about 60, road trips to the Twin Cities to visit our daughters. The sign made me smile. I felt reassured. Hope does prevail, and not just in temples or cathedrals or in a Broadway musical, but right here on the prairie of Minnesota. But I wondered, is hope really that tangible and that close at hand? The sign sparked my curiosity. Just what does hope mean? So when I returned home, I searched for clues about what the idea hope means. Hope is frequently mentioned in this Unitarian Universalist community. Hope is often referenced during UUS worship services, either in readings or sermons or ceremonies. Hope was the topic of at least 2 covenant group discussions I led over the past 20 years. A House for Hope was the title of a UUS class taught 4 years ago by Reverend Diane, predecessor of Reverend Diana. And I think I've heard hope spoken in coffee hour conversation in such phrases as, I hope you have a good time. I hope you're feeling better. I hope things go well. In short, here at UUS, we use the term hope often and with the best of intentions. Nevertheless, I've come to question, what exactly do I mean when I say hope? And what do other people mean when I hear them say hope? This morning, I'm going to share with you my story about the quest for the meanings of hope. I started my quest by admittedly taking a shortcut. I searched popular quotations that include the idea of hope, and I discovered that poets, philosophers, spiritual leaders, and social justice advocates who expound on hope often intend somewhat different meanings. For example, I found several strong metaphors for hope. That is, endings to a statement beginning, hope is. Hope is our friend when every other friend has fled. Hope is the gardener of the heart. When Aristotle was asked, what is hope? He is said to have replied, hope is a waking dream. And I found an Irish proverb, hope is the physician of each misery. I also found a few not so optimistic metaphors. Hope may play traitor at times, but she is so agreeable that we forgive her offenses for the sake of her company. Minna Thomas Antrim in 1904. He that lives on hope will die fasting. Benjamin Franklin. Hope is the only universal liar who never loses his reputation for veracity. Robert Greene Ingersoll, 19th century American abolitionist, dubbed the Great Agnostic. At this juncture in my quest, I reached an early conclusion. The idea of hope radiates many meanings. As one scholar put it, hope grows more elusive the harder we try to focus upon it. Undaunted, I continue the quest. I keep searching, this time attending to the opposites of hope. That is, what hope is not, trusting that I could reduce the search by elimination. Here I rely on the writings of one of my hero scholars, Harvard research psychiatrist George Vaillant, in his 2008 book, Spiritual Evolution. Vaillant says, quote, hope must be distinguished from wish. Wishing on a star requires no effort. Hope often requires enormous effort and shapes real lives. Hope is not the same as fantasy. It is not imagining what never was and never can be. Think of your adolescent crushes, if you wish. Hope is not a prediction of things to come. It's a bad idea to place wagers on the Hawkeyes just because you hope they will win. Hope is not self-deception. You cannot have hope without the capacity to recognize the reality of loss. Hope may be impossible without the willingness to mourn. It seems safe to conclude that hope does not function as wish, fantasy, prediction, or self-deception. Let me be a bit presumptuous and propose 3 exemplars of what hope means. 3 examples distilled from the many I found in my quest. Each represents a way to think about hope and talk about hope. These 3 are certainly not the only, nor even perhaps the best interpretations of the meanings of hope. The first, I will lay out these 3 contrasting ways of thinking about hope functions in our personal lives and in the life of UUS community, and then you can be the judge of each one. The first is what I call a tender-minded view of hope, exemplified by a poem by Emily Dickinson, Hope is the Thing with Feathers. You may have read this in 11th grade English, but it's worth repeating. Hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land, and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity, it asked a crumb of me. It seems to me that Dickinson emphasizes 4 qualities of hope. Location, hope perches in the soul. In 21st century talk, we can simply say that hope is within us. Duration, hope never stops. It's always there. Strength, hope weathers all storms. And independence, hope never asks any action from me. By contrast, I found a second exemplar. I'll call it a tough-minded view of hope. Some might call it a clear-eyed view, a willingness to look life straight in the eye, just as it happens. This view of hope emanates from the ancient Greek myth, which we call the myth of Pandora's box. There are many versions of the myth that have reached us in the 21st century, and here's my summary of its essence. As a wedding present, Zeus gave Pandora a box. In the ancient Greek, it was called jar, but warned her never to open it. Pandora, who was created to be curious, couldn't stay away from the box. The urge to open the box overcame her. She opened the lid, and all manner of curses and evils flew out to plague the world. Greed, envy, hatred, pain, disease, hunger, poverty, war, death, and probably many more. All life's miseries have been let out into the world. You know, as I read that, I couldn't help but think this sounds a bit like the 6 o'clock news, doesn't it? Now, here's the part of the myth that was new to me. Pandora slammed the lid of the box back down. The last thing remaining inside of the box was hope. Ever since, humans have been able to hold onto this hope in order to survive the wickedness that Pandora had let out. Now, the myth can be confusing. We are not sure whether hope was one of the evils in Pandora's box, for example. In the original myth, the Greek word for hope is usually translated as expectation. So one interpretation is that hope stands for humanity's ever-expanding expectations of a better life. A better life on earth and a better life beyond. And that may not be such a good thing for mankind. Why? Because such an expectation prevents us from ever being content with the present. Another explanation is that hope may have been an evil because people think things are getting better when they really aren't. Hope takes our attention away from the actions we need to take to better our lot. Permit me to go on a tangent for a minute. In contemporary life, hope clearly is an ad man's friend. TV ads are full of scenes activating our hopes for a better life. The most annoying examples are Prevagen commercials, clearly targeted at my age peers, featuring testimonials from sweet-looking elders crowing about how their memory improved after using Prevagen. I'm especially fascinated with the version of the ad where the guy can't remember how many years he's been taking Prevagen. I confess those ads moved me. It would be great to recall details about the past, don't you think? What was that password? What was that book about? And did that tall, attractive girl give me a second look at the 4-H square dance? Just how far did I hit that home run ball? I hoped I could remember. Then I went online and consulted the research on Prevagen. and turned back to the TV program in progress. As Oliver Goldsmith said, hope is such a bait, it covers any hook. The third exemplar is hope seen through the experience of one who suffered, Václav Havel. Havel was a Czech playwright, poet, and political dissident who led a velvet revolution that became the Czech Republic. He served 4 years in prison for his activities on behalf of human rights. I will read portions of Havel's discussion. It appeared in a magazine in 1993, but it's basically taken from his what could be said as a memoir published in 1990. So here's Havel on hope. Quote, "The kind of hope I often think about, especially in hopeless situations like prison, is, I believe, a state of mind, not a state of the world. Either we have hope within us or we don't. Hope is not a prognostication, it's an orientation of the spirit. Each of us must find real, fundamental hope within him or herself. We can't delegate that to anyone else." Havel continues, "Hope in this deep and powerful sense is not the same as joy when things are going well, or the willingness to invest in enterprises that are obviously headed for early success, but rather, hope is an ability to work for something to succeed." He continues, "Hope is not the conviction that something will turn out well, but the certainty that something makes sense, regardless of how it turns out." Havel concludes, "It is this hope, above all, that gives us strength to live and to continually try new things, even in conditions that seem hopeless. Life is too precious a thing to permit its devaluation by living pointlessly, emptily, without meaning, without love, and finally, without hope." In summary, Havel's hope is a state of mind, not of situations. It is an orientation of the spirit. Hope is an ability to take action in order for something to succeed. Hope is the certainty that something makes sense. And hope is the strength to live full lives. In review, my quest has led me to 3 distinctly different views of hope among countless views out there. Emily Dickinson has taught me that hope perches in the soul, never stops, is always there, weathers all storms, and never asks any action from me. The myth of Pandora has taught me that hope is a distraction that diverts our attention from experiencing contentment and taking action to benefit our lives. Václav Havel has taught me that hope is a state of mind, the ability to take action, and the certainty that something makes sense, regardless of how it turns out. Now let me circle back to the road sign story. One autumn Sunday, on a return trip to Iowa City, we turned off I-35 and drove that 1 mile into the town of Hope, Minnesota, population 109. We drove the full length of the one-street town, noted 3 taverns, each with doors open, and a Lutheran church holding services with doors closed. I couldn't help wondering if for many locals their thirst was greater for beer than for inspiration, or more likely that the church was full and the bars were empty. I close with a supplication from Mark Twain. Lord, save us from old age and broken health, and a hope tree that has lost the faculty of putting out blossoms. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, David. And I just want to say it has been a privilege to work on this service today with David. I'm not necessarily sure it was the intent of a worship associate to connect with someone, but that is definitely what happened with David, and it has been a gift, and I'm very grateful for that. So thank you. How we give, what we do with our lives, our time, and our resources is a reflection of our values. In response to the abundance we are blessed with every week, this congregation donates generously to organizations in the community who work aligns with our values and principles. Our community partner agency this month is the Center for Worker Justice. The Center for Worker Justice priority issues include defending workers' rights to proper payment and safe work, improving housing options for low-income residents, confronting discrimination and ensuring equal access to community services, and providing assistance to those affected by immigration policies. In the sanctuary, the ushers will collect the offering. You can follow the instructions on the screen for how to give online. All cash contributions go directly to the community partner agency. In addition to assisting our community partner, you may contribute towards your pledge to our society or contribute to the congregation to provide additional support for our operating expenses. You may also contribute by check using the memo line to designate the purpose. The offering is a sign of commitment to this free congregation, which is almost completely supported by the generosity of those who join with us. As we give and receive the offering, may we be transformed by our giving, and may the world be transformed by our gifts. Thank you so much, Sherry and Alex. Immediately after the service, we gather in the fellowship hall and outside for conversation and community. Our discussion questions, which you may want to chat about during the coffee hour, are: what does hope mean to you? What symbols inspire hope? What are you hoping for? And as a reminder, afterwards, we would love you to join us so that we can say a heartfelt goodbye to Alex as he moves on to Sacramento, California, as the artistic director for the Gay Men's Chorus. I think today you've heard proof of how much we will miss what he brings to our congregation, so thank you. We're going to, please join me in the words for extinguishing the chalice. Oh, we sure are going to sing a song first. My apologies.
Together. Yeah. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow, they'll learn much more. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Thank you.
So thankful we made time for that. So now, please join me in the words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. All these we carry in our hearts and in our minds until we are together again. In closing, I'd just like to share that as David and I put this together, he had me thinking about hope nonstop. And everywhere I looked, it seemed like I found symbols and meaning and inspiration for hope. And I just want to share one little piece of that before we go. I decided to watch Man of Steel, not really sure why. Maybe I just wanted to see Henry Cavill, I don't know. But that was released in 2013, and I was struck by a moment in the movie when Kal-El finds his ship, and there's that holographic generation of his father, and his father spoke to him about the meaning of the symbol of the house of El. I quote, "The people of Earth are different from us, it's true, but ultimately I believe that's a good thing. They won't necessarily make the same mistakes we did. But if you guide them, Cal, if you give them hope, That's what this symbol means. Embodied within that hope is the fundamental belief that the potential of every person to be a force for good. That's what you can bring. End quote. That is what we can bring to each other. And now we'll close out with our blessing song.
No, yeah, you're great. I'm just hoping, that you'll indulge me a little bit. I sang this in May, right before the benediction, so you'll catch on to what's happening. But I'll just sing it. My friends, I want to thank you for joining me in this song. It's amazing to sing together and make something new in this time, in this place. How wonderful to give a part of ourselves and in return receive a small part of each other in this sacred, precious act of community. Well, I hope I haven't kept you for too long. And if I've caused offense, I hope you know I didn't mean any wrong. How wonderful to strive together, and by doing so grow in this sacred, precious act of community. Amen. Let it be so. Amen. Let it be so. Amen. Blessed be. Blessed be. Blessed be, blessed be, Ashe, 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 Amen. Amen. Let it be so. Thank you.